love learning foreign languages. In fact, I love it so much that I like to learn a new language every 2 years, currently working on my eighth one. When people find it out about me, they always ask me, how do you do that? What's the secret? And for many years, my answer would be, I don't know, I simply love learning languages. But people were never happy with that answer. They wanted to know why they are spending years trying to learn even one language, never achieving fluency, and here I come, learning one language after another. They wanted to know the secret of polyglots, people who speak a lot of languages, and that made me wonder too. How do actually other polyglots do it? What do we have in common? And what is it that enables us to learn languages so much faster than other people? I decided to meet other people like me and find it out. The best place to meet a lot of polyglots is an event when hundreds of language lovers meet in one place to practice their languages. There are several such polyglots events organized all around the world, and so I decided to go there and ask polyglots about the method that they use. And so I met Benny from Ireland, who told me that his method is to start speaking from day one. He learns a few phrases from a travel press book and goes to meet native speakers and start having conversation with them right away. He doesn't mind making even 200 mistakes a day because that's how he learns based on feedback. And the best thing is, he doesn't even need to travel a lot today because you can easily have a conversation with them from the comfort of your room using websites. I also met Lucas from Brazil, who had a really interesting method to learn Russian. He simply added 100 random Russian speakers on Skype as friends, and then he opened a chat window with one of them and wrote hi in Russian. And the person replied, "Hi, how are you?" Lucas copied this and put it in the text window with another person. And the person replied, "I'm fine, thank you, and how are you?" Lucas copied it back to the first person, and in this way he had two strangers have a conversation with each other without knowing about it. And soon he would start typing himself because he had so many of this conversation that he figured out how the Russian conversation usually starts. What an ingenious method, right? And then I met polyglots who always start by imitating sounds of the language, and others who always learn the 500 most frequent words of the language, and yet others who always start by reading about the grammar. If I ask 100 different polyglots, I heard 100 different approaches to learning languages. Everybody seems to have a unique way how they learn a language, and yet we'll come to the same result of speaking several languages fluently. And I was listening of these polyglots telling me about their methods, it suddenly dawned on me. The one thing we'll have in common is that we simply found ways to enjoy the language learning process. All of these polyglots were talking about language learning as if it was great fun. You should have seen their faces when they were showing me their colorful grammar charts and their carefully handmade flashcards and their statistic about learning vocabulary using apps, or even how they love to cook based on recipes in a foreign language. All of them use different methods, but they always make sure it's something that they personally enjoy. I realized that it's actually how I learn languages myself. When I was learning Spanish, I was bored with the text in the textbook. I mean, who want to read about Jose asking about the direction to the train station, right? I wanted to read Harry Potter instead because that was my favorite book as a child, and I have read it many times. So I get the Spanish translation of Harry Potter and started reading. And sure enough, I didn't understand almost anything at the beginning, but I keep on reading because I loved the book. And by the end of the book, I was able to follow it almost without any problems. And the same thing happened when I was learning German. I decided to watch Friends, my favorite sitcom in German. And again, at the beginning, it was all gibberish. I don't know where one word finished it and another one started. But I keep on watching every day because it's Friends. I can watch it in the language. I love it so much. And after the second or third season, seriously, the dialogue started to make sense. I only realized this after meeting other polyglots. We are not geniuses and we have no shortcut to learning languages. We simply found ways how to enjoy the process, how to turn language learning from a boring school subject into a pleasant activity which you don't mind doing it every day. If you don't like writing words down on paper, you can always type them in an app. If you don't like listening to boring textbook material, find interesting content on YouTube or in podcasts for any language. If you're a more introverted person and you can imagine speaking to native speakers right away, you can apply the method of self-talk. You can talk to yourself in the comfort of your room, describing your plans for the weekend, or even take a random picture from your phone and describing the picture to your imaginary friend. This is how polyglots learn languages, and the best news is it's available to anyone who is willing to take the learning into their own hands. So, meeting other polyglots helped me realize that it's really crucial to find enjoyment in the process of learning languages.